Alright, I'll do another video.
So in today's video, we're actually going to a bridge where 5 idiots decided that they wanted to blow it up, and how the FBI actually foiled that plan. So let's go to the bridge.
Operation Blow Up the Bridge Plot.
The bridge behind me is the Brecksville Northfield high-level bridge in Brecksville, Ohio. At first glance, it's just a regular piece of infrastructure. Cars, trucks, and commuters passing by it every day. But in 2012, this bridge became the centerpiece of a domestic terrorism plot. 5 young men, calling themselves anarchists, tried to blow it up. Their goal was to send a message against what they saw as corporate greed and government oppression. Instead, their plans unraveled in an elaborate FBI sting operation. So today, we're diving into the details, who they were, why they planned this attack, and how the FBI actually stopped them. The 5 men involved were Douglas Wright, Brandon Baxter, Anthony Hain, Connor Stevens, and Joshua Stafford. Their ages ranged from early 20s to mid-30s. They considered themselves anarchists, opposed to government control and corporate power. But this wasn't an organized or well-connected group. They were frustrated young men who felt ignored by society and saw violence as a way to only make themselves heard. The group started out as a part of Occupy Cleveland, a movement protesting economic inequality and corporate influence. But they grew disillusioned, feeling that peaceful protests weren't effective enough. They broke away and formed their own small faction called the Revolutionary People's Party. This wasn't a large or formal movement, just 5 people united by frustration and anger, looking for a way to take action. The group believed that corporate greed and government policies were crushing the average person. They saw themselves as fighting back against a system they felt was rigged, and their frustrations weren't unique. Many shared similar views during the Occupy protests, but what set these 5 apart was their decision to turn those frustrations into violent action. They thought attacking symbols of power, like a bridge, would make people notice them and take their message seriously. Psychologically, these were individuals who felt powerless. When people feel ignored by systems of power, anger can build. Desperation can take action and come into play, and this leads to destructive thoughts or actions. In this specific case, their anger boiled over into a misguided belief that violence would create change. What they didn't see was how isolated and destructive their actions were becoming. Another aspect includes that they were just anarchists, just looking for an excuse to be violent. The FBI learned about the group through an informant. Was a convicted felon who worked as an informant in previous cases. He infiltrated the group, gained their trust, and recorded their conversations. Didn't just listen. He actually played an active role. He helped the group plan their attack, introduced them to a fake explosive supplier, which was the undercover FBI agent, and gave advice. Critics of the case argue that involvement pushed the group to move forward, raising questions about entrapment. The FBI, however, maintains that the group had already made their violent intentions very clear before even entered the picture. The group considered several targets before choosing this bridge, including the Justice Center in Cleveland, the Northeast Ohio Fusion Center, and the Brecksville Northfield Bridge. They even mentioned blowing up a Ku Klux Klan gathering spot. For the life of me, I can't understand why they wouldn't go for that target. Probably can't say in the video. So why a bridge? This one connects Brecksville and Sycamore Hills, carrying Route 82 over the Cuyahoga River. It's a key piece of infrastructure, and the group believed destroying it would disrupt commerce and grab attention. But it wasn't part of a larger strategy. Their plan was symbolic more than anything, and it wasn't really well thought due to their impulsiveness. If you want my opinion as to why they chose this bridge, I believe the informant helped steer them towards this location because the FBI wanted to apprehend them in a more isolated location, so they went without hurting regular citizens. Just let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So once the group settled on their plan, the FBI stepped in, and they set up a meeting with an undercover FBI agent posing as an explosives supplier. The agent provided the group with fake explosives, devices carefully engineered to look and feel like real bombs. These bombs included dummy wires and dormant materials to ensure no risk to the public. The FBI monitored every step of this process, documenting the group's discussions and movements. The FBI allowed the group to proceed with their plan right up until the point of attempting the detonation. This gave the agents the evidence they needed to move forward with airtight charges. On April 30th, 2012, the group placed the fake explosives at the base of the bridge. They believed that these devices were real, ready to detonate remotely using cell phones. The undercover FBI agent provided a specific phone number for the group to call, making no mistake about their intentions of blowing up the bridge. When the devices failed to go off because they were fake, the FBI moved in. The arrests were quick and controlled, making sure no one was harmed. Each of the 5 men faced serious charges, including these following charges. These charges reflect not just their plans to destroy the bridge, but also the potential for harm to critical infrastructure and public safety. The sentences varied based on each individual's role in the plot. Douglas Wright, seen as the leader of the group, Wright received the harshest sentence at 11.5 years in federal prison. Brandon Baxter, who played a key role in the planning, was sentenced to 9 years and 9 months. Anthony Hain cooperated with prosecutors, leading to a reduced sentence of 6 years in federal prison. Connor Stevens was given a sentence of 8 years and 1 month. Joshua Stafford, he had mental health issues that delayed his trial, and he received 10 years in federal prison. These sentences showed the seriousness of their plans. Even though the explosives were fake and no harm actually occurred, the judge emphasized the potential consequences if their plot had succeeded, while also noting their relative inexperience and the role of the FBI's informant. The Cleveland Bridge bombing plot is a straightforward story. It's about frustration, radicalization, and the delicate line between prevention and entrapment. It's also a reminder of how quickly anger can spiral into dangerous decisions. As always, going forward, as I cover crimes and scandals from other parts of the country, my goal is to actually visit real locations whenever possible. There's something grounding about being there in person, seeing the setting, standing where people stood back then. It solidifies the reality of these events and reminds us that these stories weren't just headlines or legends. They involved real people, real lives, even if they happened before our time. So what do you think? Was the FBI right to step in this way? Or do cases like this raise ethical concerns? Just let me know Let me know your thoughts below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.